All right, all right. Sit on down, sit on down, sit on down. Yes, sit on down. All right. So glad to be here. Let me start off by saying thank you. Thank you for making the investment in your life as a student leader to be here this weekend. This is something that you'll remember for the rest of your life, and I am so proud to be here on this stage. Now, here's the thing about being a student leader, or a leader period, is that we overcommit. A lot of times our schedule is so full, like we go from sun up to sundown, and we're involved with just about everything. Raise your hand in here if you're in AP classes. Come on, hands up, hands up. I see you. Okay, hand down. Raise your hand if you are in your music program as well as something else on your campus, another organization, another club, another something. Okay, hand down. Fantastic. Raise your hand if you're involved in something outside of your school. Raise your hand. Hand down. So just by that, I know that I'm talking to a room full of people with busy schedules. And this is a talk that I wish somebody would have given me when I was your age. What do I do about burnout? How do I keep myself going even though I'm committed to a lot of different things? Some of you are thinking right now, yeah, I need to know the answer to that right now. Thank you, Cameron. Here's the lady who taught me how to avoid burnout. That's my wife. Everybody say, hey, Lou. Yeah, she's beautiful. She's beautiful. This picture is from our trip to the Grand Canyon. Now, if you've never been to the Grand Canyon, the way this works is, and if it's possible to get some of the lights down here so we can see the screen just a little bit better. The Grand Canyon, the way it's set up is you go down into the canyon to see like really nice parts of the canyon that you really can't see from up top. And what's cool about this, oh yeah, we can see it now. What's cool about this is there's about 5 feet is all you have. And you know, if you go over the edge, friend, that's it. You know, that's all you have. So I'm walking the Grand Canyon like, come on, Jesus, don't let me fall off this canyon. You know, come on. And not to mention, there are mules that are carrying people down the canyon. As a matter of fact, our tour guide said to my wife and I, hey, now, if you want a mule to take you down the canyon, that'll be a fee of $50. I'm like, no, sir. I take my own chances, not let a mule knock me off a canyon. So we're going down the canyon, and you're like, Cameron, why would you go through all of that? It's because they said you wanted to see this. Everybody say, ooh, ah. That's actually the name of this spot. It's the ooh-ah spot in the Grand Canyon, and you go down there, and you take these beautiful pictures. Now, this picture, friend, I took with my cell phone, but it almost didn't happen. Now, I didn't fall off the canyon. Now, that's not why I did. But it almost didn't happen because of this. And you know what I was afraid of? This. Yeah, some of you may be in that predicament right now, you know. But it made me think about something. The times in life when we miss out because we're not full. Because life is draining. Like every text message you send, everything you do, every app that you have open, it is draining you. And some of you have multiple apps open at the same time, and it's draining and it's pulling from your energy. And the more you go, the more it drains. And you have to learn how to plug back in and how to recharge. Because you're your best self when you're full. You know, a dead phone can't even call out to 911. You can't even call out for help, friend, when your batteries are low, when your tank is empty. So I want to teach you, what do you do to avoid burnout? Or what do you do when you're feeling burnout? Feel like you're going, and you're losing passion and energy about the things that you really, really care about. Here's what you do. You might want to write this down if you're taking notes. Number 1, find your fountains. Find your fountains. Now, what do I mean about find your fountains? You get a chance to write it down if you missed this slide. I'm not talking about that water fountain at your middle school. That thing's nasty. Talking about real fountain. And what qualifies as a fountain is anything that is not contaminated, that gives you joy, that gives you happiness, that makes your heart sing, that makes you come alive as a human. That is a fountain. And my fountain may be different from yours, and I can have more than one, and you can have more than one. But you have to find those things that replenish you, that keep joy in your heart, a smile on your face, a pep in your step. You have to find your fountains. I'm going to show you one of my fountains, that thing that fills you up, keeps you going. This is one of my fountains. My wife and I are RVers. I know that's weird. You weren't expecting that. I know. We're RVers because it is one of my fountains. I enjoy traveling. Here's why. Now, to some of you, raise your hand if you have a driver's license. Hey, okay, hand down. We drove from Mississippi to the Grand Canyon in our RV. Now, that sounds like, oh my goodness, that's ridiculous. 23 hours of driving, but I enjoyed every step of it, every part of the process because of stops like this. Everybody say, ooh. Yeah. Every part of the process was important for me to stop and reflect and think and recharge and get my batteries going. So number one, you got to find your fountain. That thing that you do, that creative thing that you're a part of, that thing that gives you something that you don't have to worry about life, you don't have to worry about the world, but it refuels you. It gets you going. It gets you excited again. Number two, you got to unpack your gifts. Unpack your gifts. Now, I don't know about your family, but my family, they love pulling jokes on people. Okay, so Christmas time, have you ever gotten that big old box and you thought you had a big old gift, but then there was like 6 boxes inside of it? You ever had that happen? And you're like, oh, I got a big box, and then you get it, like, you open it up, oh, another box. Okay, then you get the next box, another box. So you get out to the small little box, and there's your gift. And a lot of times you had no idea what it was until you start unpacking it. Here's the thing I have against, like, surveys that try to tell you, you fill out these 90 questions and they say, oh, yeah, you're going to be a school teacher or you're going to be a doctor. Here's what I don't like about that, because some gifts, friend, you haven't even untapped yet. You hadn't even unpacked it yet. Some of you right now are saying, I don't know how in the world I'm going to be drum major. I don't know how I'm going to be section leader. They put me over the violas? What in the world? What were they thinking? I can't lead anybody. Yes, you can. There are gifts inside of you that you have not unpacked just yet. And I hope this weekend becomes a part of you unpacking some of those gifts. Number 3, you need to leverage your no. Now, this is going to be worth somebody's gas money. Sometimes the kindest thing you can say is no. The most loving thing you can say is no. Here's why. You must be willing to say no to good things in order to say yes to great things. Now, it's easy to say no to bad things. You know the bad things. You're leaders. You know the things to say no to. But it's hard to say no to good things. Because here's the thing that I wish I would have known. If I say yes to every good thing, I have no capacity to say yes to the great things. Some of you said no to some good things that you could have been a part of this weekend in order to say yes to this great thing, this leadership training that you're getting right now. I'm proud of you for being able to distinguish the good from the great. So you have to leverage your no. And you can be nice about it, If you don't want to hang out, you don't have to be rude with your friends. Be like, girl, I ain't going, Just let them know. Be nice, be kind, but leverage your no. Then finally, you have to live on purpose. You got to figure out that thing that you were created to do, the problem that you were created to solve. Every single person in this room was designed and created to solve a problem. And I can't do your part, you can't do my part. But the world is going to be an amazing place the moment you figure out your purpose. And it's going to also help you with that no factor, be able to say no to things that are good in order to say yes to things that are great, because you know your purpose and what you were created to do. Have you discovered your purpose? If you haven't, I encourage you to start doing it. Start exploring. Get out there. Now, here's what I know about your purpose. It's like a crown that sits on your head. When you have a crown on your head, Even though it's full of jewels and it's full of diamonds, if you don't have a mirror, it takes someone else sometimes to recognize the crown that's sitting on your head, to let you know there's greatness inside of you. Friend, I'm looking at you in your eyes, and I'm telling you there's a crown on your head, and there's greatness inside of you. And I want you to be full enough to maximize your gift and your potential. So, how do you avoid burnout? Hope you've been taking good notes. Number one, we do what? Yes, absolutely. Number two, we do what? Fantastic. And number three, we do what? Got to leverage your no. Got to know how to say, okay, I can't commit to everything, but this I can do. And then finally, you have to do what? Now, if you do that, friend, and you do it correctly, you will live a full life. All right. In my final few minutes, I'm about to get in your business, and you can't be offended because I'm telling you right now I'm getting your business. I need a commitment from you before I leave this stage, that you will commit to finding your fountain, unpacking your gifts. Not only that, but leveraging your no and living on purpose. If you can make that commitment, that's worth my trip. That's worth my being here. That would be a gift to me. And friend, no pressure, but if you want to make that commitment right now to living a full life, because to be honest, your job as a leader is to come to whatever you do full. Nobody else can do that for you. Come to rehearsal full. Approach every task full. People will drain you, but when you're full, you got a lot to offer. If you make it a commitment this night to live a full life, would you stand to your feet? Would you stand? Would you stand? Woo! Give yourselves a hand, my friends. Thank you so much. Jam Squad, I see you, baby. Peace out.